How many pull-ups could I do? Honestly, I could probably do more pull-ups than push-ups. Seriously, I could probably do more pull-ups than push-ups. I actually used to do pull-ups and stuff like that when I used to work out. So those, honestly, those muscles are probably stronger than the push-ups. Seriously.
Hello, you supporters of me, you detractors of Phil, you explorers of the Snortex. Okay, that's enough of that. But hi! Work has been... work. Oof. But that's no excuse. My members are supposed to be getting some early access, and I haven't been making nearly enough videos, so we have a 3-pack on deck from my man, your man, our man, Doody Streams, to which I will be quote-unquote blind reacting to, in that I'm not pre-watching before I record. Let's get into the chaos.
Half health in phase 2. Now she'll do a second giant bloom attack, and it kind of resets the whole thing, and then you can do your pattern again. So what I ended up doing to beat her was dodge the bloom attack, charge the sword, pop a flask, boom, boom, just keep blasting her with the magic, stun her, visceral, back off, hit her 1 or 2 more times, but you have to be safe. You have to be careful. She has a lot of attacks that can deal giant damage, and if she hits you, she gets her health back. So you have to be dodging well and constantly and only hitting her during certain attacks. Like, for example, she has this jump kick that's a poise attack for her, but it doesn't really deal much damage. So you can use that opportunity to hit her with the sword and do a bunch of your own damage, and it's not a big deal. So basically, after having downed her, she did a second bloom attack, and I was able to charge up the sword, and then I almost blew it, because I almost got greedy and wanted to just, like, go in on her, and that would have been very, very disastrous, I feel, if I had done that. So basically, I played it safe, and I started healing a bit, and I took my time, and thankfully, she never activated Waterfall Dance. And then basically, I skillfully was dodging around, hit her with some more magic, got her done. And man, it felt like a relief. And here's the thing, I legit beat her this time. This was not Phil brute forced his way through. Phil got lucky and caught her in the corner and blasted her with the weapon art. If you watch this, you will actually learn how to fight Malania. If you watch me fighting her the second time, you'll learn how to dodge Waterfall Dance in phase 1, how to fight her effectively in phase 1. If you have any kind of ranged attacks, you'll learn how to actively dodge and beat her in phase 2, because I learned it all. Okay?
Earlier today on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Darksea Defil had a random thought where he said, "We don't celebrate Phil's in-life rants enough. These awkward attempts to repaint his shortcomings with the broad brush of elderly wisdom are some of the dumbest and most entertaining content." And this is apparent here. I responded to this tweet explaining that at one point in my life I was flexing a bit on a war story I had, when I learned the guy I was flexing on was legit former special operations, and a badass with God knows how many confirmed kills. But what we have here is Phil desperately trying to show himself as superior in some way, shape, or form, saying you can learn from him. And even if this is somehow true, it's so sad, really. I'm not saying playing games and being able to tutor or otherwise teach people games is pathetic, because most people that would do that know that they're doing it as their form of income, not their form of personal validation, whereas Phil needs to think this because he has quite literally no value to the world at large. He frequently says that we detractors, if we were finger snapped out of existence, the world would be a better place, but I wonder if he realizes that outside of being an inadvertent cringe lord comedian, his life serves no purpose whatsoever. Honestly, think about it. Whatever skills he has aren't marketable. He's lazy, he's emotionally and physically weak, and he's insufferable to be around because he needs constant validation that he's a special boy and the bestest of the best. I say again, it's pathetic.
And I'm happy for that. I feel accomplished that I definitely learned. And again, like I was just saying earlier, I really feel the reason why I was able to do it this time is because I've gotten back into that competitive mindset for video games.
And I'm sorry to cut in here again so soon, but this is exactly what I mean. He literally said, quote, "I feel accomplished," end quote. Dude, it's 2 sticks, some buttons, and a hunk of silicone and plastic. I'm not saying that I didn't feel kind of like a badass when I beat that sword-swishing bitch of a boss, but I didn't feel accomplished. Moreover, you have to have an actual opponent to be competitive. But according to Phil, no game against a human player is fair because of lag. It's just a continuation of my argument that this, quite literally, is all he has to hang on to.
You know, previously, I hadn't really cared about competitive games for about a decade. You know, Street Fighter used to be a big part of my life, and I used to play classic Street Fighter and even Street Fighter 4 to some extent. And then when Street Fighter 5 came out in 2015, the game was so bad that I basically kind of said, I'm not going to be playing Street Fighter anymore. I hate this game. I think they've ruined Street Fighter. And so my whole competitive mindset kind of disconnected, and I didn't really care that much. about getting good at games because that was the one franchise that I cared about. And the way I see it, last year was Street Fighter 6 coming out, and me now dedicating myself to this game to learn the systems, to learn massive underpowered characters at a competitive level. It gave me the mindset to apply myself differently to this game this second time. And fighting Malania, I'm like, okay, let's analyze a pattern. Let's figure out what's working. Let's try to replicate that. Let's try to experiment and find situations that'll trigger the waterfall, that'll do this, that'll do that. Let's find the things that are safe to attack the openings, just like a fighting game.
So I've mentioned that I've been listening to the book The Courage to Be Disliked a few times. I'm now on to How to Live Like a Roman Emperor, which analyzes the life and teachings of Marcus Aurelius. Because to me, the Stoics are people that can be looked up to, being able to endure hardship, master their emotions, and otherwise be of benefit to their community and families because they can deal with issues pragmatically. Then we have Phil, whose motivation to do anything, and as a reminder that anything means beating a boss in a game, comes from playing a lower-tiered character in a fighting game. And if that's your hobby, you do you, bro. No sweat or shade is meant to be thrown towards anyone who gets some motivation out of games as their hobby. But again, I say, their hobby. Phil's word choice, mannerisms, and body language implies that he thinks that this is some great life mystery he's unlocked. It's both captivating and horrifying that he thinks and acts like this. Have you ever seen the movie Step Brothers? That's Phil. Both Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly at once. That's Phil.
And that's how I approached it. And because of this, I was able to beat Malania in 2 hours. Just 2 hours. That's so much better than 2 years ago, where it took me like 7 hours to beat this boss. You know, some people took them way longer than that. I mean, I know I'm not great at FromSoft games, but I feel like at least I've accomplished something to say, you know what? No one can say I'm bad at them anymore. If they do, they're just a fucking liar, and they don't know what they're talking about. I actually beat the most challenging boss in the game by analyzing, countering, and legitimately fighting her, right? And that's awesome, right?
Okay, Phil, we're going to pretend I agree with you. Hooray for you. You're good at FromSoft games. Now what? What did that do for you? Did it get you a pay raise? Did it lower Cat's BMI? Does it make you more marketable for a different career? Does it allow you to lift heavier, run farther, or otherwise better you in any way? No? Okay. I guess congratulations? And some may think, damn, this is kind of mean-spirited. I mean, you celebrated 1,000 subscribers, and you're correct. I did. But the meaning for me behind my subs came from a deep-seated insecurity in me that my voice is annoying, my way of talking obnoxious, and that I'm genuinely a tough person to listen to or be around. The 1,000 subs was the first inkling I had in a long time that, no, you're an okay guy, and that was my self-talk. I wanted to be okay. Phil wants people to think he's exceptional.
So, very exciting. Epic. When I beat her, like I said, I breathed a huge sigh of relief, and I was like, oh my god, that was pretty awesome. That was pretty damned awesome. And I cannot wait now, honestly, to actually play this upcoming DLC in June. You know, it's going to be amazing to tackle a whole new thing of Elden Ring, where it's going to be new bosses, new weapons, new challenges. And by the way, we're going to talk about this in the news. Apparently, it's the only DLC for Elden Ring, and that's why it's so expensive, because it's going to be very lengthy and in-depth and awesome, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to play it in June. In fact, now that I have shown that I actually have some skill in FromSoft games, I think this DLC is just going to be all the more entertaining for all of us. Instead of me just going through flubbing it and getting smashed, I'm actually going to be learning. Like I said, the first thing I want to do is once we get like 1 or 2 new weapons from the DLC, I want to go respec and try the weapons. I don't want to just sit there and do my magic build the whole DLC. I want to learn new stuff. Okay? And I think it's going to be super, super, super duper fun. So now I'm super pumped, excited for the DLC. And the other cool thing is, you might be like, oh man, so that's it. No more Souls-like games for a while. Well, wait, what are you talking about? I reached this area of the game where it's considered open ocean, where you can explore much like the open world of Elden Ring. And immediately an optional boss showed up that's way higher level than what I should be fighting. I spent about 40 minutes fighting it, and I beat it. And I have, like, today as we boot the game up, I have 20,000 leveling experience points to level, and each level's only like 2,000. So I'm going to be able to get like 7, 8 levels just as we start today, and then we're going to be able to explore this cool open world. I'm sure there's going to be cool, epic stuff coming up. And so I will just say to you, if you like seeing me play Souls-likes, please tune in today to another Crab's Treasure, or watch it on demand later. Give it a chance. I feel like a lot of people have tuned out this game because it's cutesy underwater. No, no, no. It's actually very entertaining, and I'm getting better at it, and I'm liking it more the more I play it, and I'm very excited actually to jump into it right after the podcast ends. And I hope that you'll stick around for it, because I am having a great time with it. I think you will too. This is a great way to have something to do in May before the DLC comes out next month. This is something interesting to do. So I hope that you're going to join me for another Crab's Treasure, and then I hope you'll come back for the DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree in June, when I'll be playing it on launch day all day long. I'm very excited. Hope you are.
I wish that Phil could get this kind of motivation to do shit around his house. Fix the dishwasher, fix the toilet, just actually have purpose, even if it's just in his own household. When it comes to pixels and being perceived as a scrub or bad player, Phil can muster up all 2.4 pounds of muscle mass he has to say, "I'll show them." But when it comes to his house, he just can't be bothered.
Cool. So, a celebration today. DSP is actually good at something else other than Street Fighter. I'm actually pretty good at Souls-likes. I guess you could say FromSoft, but if you just say Souls-like, it makes more sense. That way you know it's a Souls-style game. I'm actually pretty good now. I'm not the best. I'm not competitive. I'm not trying to do speed runs. I'm not trying to make my whole existence about them. But I'm pretty good at them. And I'm excited for the future of knowing that I can now apply that to other Souls-likes and have a good time. Lies of P I did really good in. Now with another Crab's Treasure, I'm enjoying my run. This is good stuff. And I hope that you guys will continue to hang out and show up and engage in support with that content.
I just have this mental image of single-style Phil if Kat ever left him, which, girl, leave him. But I have this picture of him walking up to a 20-something at a bar and being like, "Hey, you know, I beat Malania in 2 hours." And him thinking to himself that said woman is going to be like, "Oh, daddy, yes." And I don't know. That thought made me giggle. Right up until the point he made it about support. Because of course he did. We can't have a monologue without a closing "pay me money" bit. Whatever was I thinking?
Ladies and gentlemen, we should do a little segment that I like to call Bill's Day Off. What did I do yesterday on my day off? Well, I did my various usual things, running errands, pet supplies, etc. There's really, honestly, only a couple things of note. All right? The first thing of note was I actually, for the first time ever, ate a new kind of food. Okay? Now, what was it? Well, funny enough, I have never had, and I'm an American, okay? I have never had Cold Stone Creamery ice cream.
Hey Phil, I'm an American too, and I've been learning that I have viewers from all over the globe. And guess what? Either people know what Cold Stone Creamery is, FYI, I live next to a town of about 40,000 people, and they have a Cold Stone Creamery, so if I know what it is, everyone does. Or, and this is the more crucial part of the equation, no one gives a shit. It's ice cream. No one cares. Skip this segment, please.
And yesterday, my wife and I were out doing other things, and it just so happens that we were a little hungry, and we were in a parking lot that randomly had a Cold Stone Creamery in it. And I looked at it, and I was like, "You want to do it?" Giggity. I've never had it ever. And she's like, "I've had it ages ago, but haven't had it in a million years." Funny enough, I've been in a Cold Stone Creamery before, but I didn't get anything. It was years ago, where I used to live in New Haven, Connecticut. And I lived in downtown New Haven, and I had 2 roommates, and they used to like to go like walking around downtown New Haven bar hopping. I remember one night after we went to the bars, on the way home, there was a Cold Stone that was still open. And they said, "Why don't we stop at Cold Stone and get ice cream?" And I was like, I don't know. So I went in with them. I didn't get anything, but they got a bunch of ice cream. But it was like 20 years ago. So I don't even remember, honestly, what it was like or anything. I mean, 20 years is a long time. So we go in there, all right? And I'm just going to say this up front, all right? This is something that I will probably rarely ever do again in my life. And I'm going to explain why in a minute, all right? So we go in there, and immediately we look around, and we're like, whoa, this is wild. They have all these different kinds of ice cream that you wouldn't think of, insane, like over-the-top peanut butter cup, like berries and cream with real berry pieces smashed in, like strawberry shortcake, strawberries and cake pieces really in the ice cream and stuff like that. Incredibly over-the-top, decadent stuff. And we're like, oh man, now here's the thing. I don't really have a sweet tooth anymore. I don't. Like, I lost my sweet tooth as I got older. I much would prefer more savory foods. When it comes to being sweet, like the only thing I can think of that I really like is chocolate. I don't crave sugary fruit, caramel, peanut butter that much anymore. I'll eat it in a rarity, but not often, okay?
And this is content. This is his podcast. The podcast that's never had a guest. Ever. Well, Kat, but she doesn't count because she's been on the gameplay. We're listening to a 42-year-old man tell us about his chain ice cream parlor adventures. At one point, I thought Phil was going to get up, look out the window, and yell, "Get off my lawn, you damn kids!" Until I remembered Phil doesn't know shit about lawn care.
So, we go and I'm just looking at it all. I'm like, man, I'm going to get something. We're here. And, it's a rarity that I'd be here. But I have no idea what to get. I don't want to get something too sweet and then I take 2 bites of it and I don't like it anymore. My wife's looking to. So we decided to get 2 flavors and kind of like share. So she got one that was some kind of cookie dough, like crazy cookie dough. And then I got something that I thought perhaps I could stomach, mint chocolate chip. But of course, they can't just call it mint chocolate chip. Guess what they call it? Mint chocolate chip. What the fuck? Can't you just call it mint chocolate chip? I mean, come on. I was like a kid who's just repeating themselves. So anyway, we each got one and we basically kind of tasted each other's or whatever. First of all, it is so thick but still kind of like, it's thick but not hard and cold. Giggity. Like a lot of ice cream, when you scoop it, it's too hard and cold. This ice cream is thick, but it's like soft at the same time. So it's a different consistency than what I'm used to. It's not soft serve at all. Soft serve is more liquidy. This is still dense ice cream, but it definitely is more like malleable ice cream. Okay, I don't know what they do. I don't know if the cream content is different or something like that. I'm not sure, but it definitely is a little different. Okay. So then I started eating it and I realized it didn't just have mint and chocolate. It was basically the mint ice cream with dark chocolate chips that also were mint chocolate. But then there was also fudge brownie pieces mixed into it. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was in there. Like I had no clue. So I started eating it. I was like, this is pretty good. Now here's the thing. What did I like the most? The mint and the dark chocolate flavor. The sugar, even if it was less sugary, I think I just like mint. Overall in my life, it's a flavor that I really enjoy. So I basically ate it and I was like, this is pretty good. All right. My wife's, which was the cookie dough, I had one spoon of, and at first I thought it tasted good, and then the cookie dough hit me, and I was like, that is way too sweet. Like, again, for me, like, I don't like overload of sugar, and when the cookie dough hit my palate, I was like, oh, I would not eat that, Ugh. So anyway,
Just wanted to remind you, you're listening to his branded Best Stories on the Internet. He's eating ice cream at a nationally well-known chain ice cream shop, talking about sugar content and how much he liked it. There's no bit here. That's what we're listening to right now. I figure if I have to be depressed, you have to be depressed too.
We ate it and enjoyed it, okay? So it was actually, I would say it was a good experiment. It's something that I certainly would not do all the time, but it's, rarity. It's the first time I've ever had it. So why would I probably never do it again? All right, you want to know the truth? Ladies and gentlemen, Cold Stone Creamery ice cream was nearly $10 a serving. $10 fucking USD a serving. What the hell?
So what? You're illiterate? You're incompetent? You're regarded? Because it has to be one of those 3 things. They have the prices on the menu, you shitfuck. Who in their right mind buys shit without at least having a vague notion of the cost? Oh, right, we're talking about Phil. My bad. Disregard my previous question.
And I'll be honest, if I had known that it was that much, I would not have gone into Cold Stone Creamery. I would have skipped it. But we didn't know, and we're like, well, we're here, let's go in. And we went in, and we're like, all right, let's get it. We'll figure out what we're going to order. And then we looked at the prices. We're like, what the fool? Ooh! But we were already there. Like, well, you might as well do it, right?
Phil is every car salesman's wet dream, and you can't change my mind.
But, dude, I was like, and the funny part is when we went in, there was a lot of people in there. A lot. So they're all spending $10 a pop. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought that we're like in a bad economy with inflation. Everyone claims they have no money. How is Cold Stone Creamery full to the brim with people waiting in line to spend $10 a pop on a little thing of ice cream that you're going to eat in 5 minutes and be done with, right?
Oh, this is too good. Yeah, Phil probably thought that, but what he censored out for his podcast was the thought of, I thought we were in a bad economy and people couldn't afford anything, so why aren't people giving me more on my streams? If I had money to bet and it could be proven, I would double down on this bet that he thought that 10 times out of 10. It's not the ice cream that cost $10 that's the problem. It's that people were lined up for said ice cream, and he has to beg for donations on his stream. Cold Stone Creamery is a detractor.
So this is pretty wild that it's that expensive. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to go to Dairy Queen all the time with my dad. It was actually down the street. We could walk like 2-3 blocks away and we get to a Dairy Queen. And I remember he would either get me like a little Blizzard or a sundae, and he would get like an ice cream cone with a dip. Of course, we're talking 30, 40 years ago. And, the price was like, up 2, 3. Even then, I would say probably I remember the Blizzards were kind of expensive for the time. If the Blizzard were like $3.99, you'd be like, oh God, right? That's very expensive, right? And out here, it's like $10 for Cold Stone. And it's not big either. It's a little cup. It's not a giant thing they're filling. It's a little cup of this decadent ice cream. And I don't know. Like, again, it's weird to me that people claim that everything is so bad right now and there's no money to go around and the economy's so bad, right? Inflation's so bad, but you go into Cold Stone and they're fucking packed to the gills. It's like, actually what should have happened is we went in there and there was no one in there and they were desperate for business is what should have happened, but it was the opposite. So I don't really get it. Maybe people have money, they just spend it on the wrong stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going back there. Like, I probably another 10 years I'll walk in there on a whim. We'll be there. But there's no way I'm spending $10 on ice cream. That's insane.
Oh, you absolutely holier-than-thou douche canoe. They're spending it on the wrong stuff. Who the fuck are you to tell anyone how to spend their money? Look, you're jealous of Cold Stone's success, I get it, but they have a good product, they have good marketing, and they don't kick their customers in the balls if they ask for extra napkins, so yeah. People are gonna spend money there. The fact you have the gall to chastise others for how they spend their money is just another 30 or 40 tally marks in the column of he's totally a narcissist who doesn't understand how life works and wants everyone to treat him like he's a special boy. I ask you again, please, seek therapy.
Let's see. No. We got nothing so far. So, nothing on the tip side. No, I was just refreshing. Let me fully refresh this because sometimes, yeah, when I'm on my day off, it logs out. Let me fully log back in, but I don't think we got anything. Nope. Nothing on the tip side so far. So, it's already 12:25. There's no time for any other topics or dialogue. So what we'll do is we'll have a little bit of Q&A at the end of the show. If any other contributions come in, I will shout them out. Please, guys, support the streams this week. It would be great to have another solid week like last week. Coming off those baloney chargebacks. You guys did rally for the last 2 days of streaming, and I really appreciated that you did. Helped out a lot. So, and keep that momentum going. As you know, I attempt to get tier 1 tip skull every stream that I do. And then anything else that on top of that is always greatly appreciated. Thank you to those who have super chatted and gifted memberships already this morning. All right. So what would you guys like to talk about? Please tag me in the chat. Iron Man the Power says I've been playing Tekken 8. So far I'm having a great time trying out characters. Sounds tired. 672. How often do we wear vests? Exactly. Why would you ask me if a vest is retired when I literally almost never wear a vest regardless, right? Like, what a silly question. I guess the better question is, why are you asking that question? Actually, let's answer your question with a question. Why are you asking me that question? What's the point of the answer? I'm just curious. Like, why does it matter?
And I don't have the full context here, but to my understanding, 672 asked if the vests were retired because the last few times that the goal was hit, he didn't wear a vest because he has no tolerance for hardship, and it would have been too hot. Again, this is the man who could withstand all hardships and knock out Mike Tyson, but he can't wear a vest when it's hot out. Again, he is Schrodinger's dipshit. But yeah, I think that's the context. If I'm wrong, please someone correct me in the comments.
Because we never see it when I do wear a vest. Well, is it true that the Platinum vest is the heaviest vest that I own? Yes, it is. Does it make sense that I'd be wearing the heaviest vest that I own when I'm in warmer weather? No. Would it make sense for me to wear it maybe when the air conditioner's in? Probably. Right? How often do I wear a vest? Almost never. I mean, how often do we hit $150 on a stream? A couple times a month at this rate? So the thing is, there's just not even that actual amount of opportunities for it to happen, right?
Okay, so the ask wasn't, were all vests retired? It was, is the Platinum vest retired? You know, the vest I'm wearing. Is that retired? And 672, the answer is yes, because as Broside Phil, I physically took it from the pig roach, and am presently wearing it, as you can plainly see. But back to the issue at hand. Here we see the pig roach executing a beg with the subtlety of an elementary school child who sees that their friend has gum. Oh man, my mouth sure is dry. Would be super awesome if I had some gum right now. And I know that's a bit of an exaggeration, but that's exactly what he's doing. He knows it, you know it, I know it. Whatever. Beg on, e-beggar, beg on.
If we were hitting the vest goal all the time, then probably it would be in the running, right? But the thing is, we hit it so rarely that it's not even like a thing. Like for example, let's say today I'm playing Street Fighter 6 and we hit the vest goal. I'm not going to put the Platinum vest in. It's Street Fighter. I'm sweating already. I'm not going to put on the heaviest vest that I own. I'm going to have the lighter vests in the running, correct?
Get to a gym, 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 get to a gym. You shouldn't be pouring sweat while using just your thumbs. Get to a gym.
But if we're in the middle of the summer and I'm playing some kind of a chill game and we hit the vest goal and the air conditioner's on, then I see no problem with having the Platinum vest in the running, right? But again, I guess the question is, why do you care so much? Why does it matter what vest I'm wearing? What is your concern exactly? What really, like, what would even possess you to ask me that question? What's the big deal? It's just a fucking stupid thing I put on during a stream. It has nothing to do with anything, right? It's silly. What a silly question.
He can't be this stupid, can he? He's actively downplaying the value of getting to the $150 tip goal by 1, saying that he's not going to entertain putting on the platinum vest even though it seems like 672 wants it, and 2, he's downplaying the meaning of the vest by saying it's just a stupid or silly thing. Well, if that's true, Phil, I wouldn't be surprised if people find your tip goals to be stupid or silly. I mean, how out of touch with your audience and your sanity do you have to be to chastise someone for wanting you to put on the $150 piece of clothing? Shit, if someone gave me $150 and said it was so that I would wear a ski mask for an hour, I'm thinking to myself, $150 an hour? Easy money, baby. But I think that this is being interpreted by Phil as a challenge to his authority on his stream. And when you challenge Phil on his authority on his stream, he's gonna go full indignant regard 100% of the time.
All right. Anyway, guys, last chance. If anyone would like to ask me a question or contribute, obviously, and get a shout out before we get set up here for another Crab's Treasure, okay? Excuse me. No, you didn't answer after I asked that. Sorry. Not that I can see, unless I'm missing it again. You said we never see it when you wear a vest, and I said, I understand that, but why do you care why we never see it? What's the big deal if one particular vest doesn't get worn in the rotation? I don't understand. And you never answered again. You ran away. Maybe it's his favorite. If that's the case, you could just say that. He says, because it's the best looking one. See, that's an answer, because you like how it looks. Okay, you like how the vest looks. You're upset we haven't seen it that much. Okay, understood. That makes more sense. So donate $150 right now, and I'll put on that vest. $672 with a $150 tip. Platinum vest time, baby. Here we go. Let's get it going. Thank you very much, 672, for committing to doing that on the stream today. Very nice of you. Thank you.
Is this a sneak beg? In my opinion, absolutely. However, can I really chastise him for it? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Why, you might say? But why? Well, you know and I know that it's a beg, but all things being equal, I make the joke on every stream that I have that, hey, we hit the $0 tips goal. And trust me when I say that can easily be interpreted as a sneak beg or otherwise encouragement for money. I don't mean it as such, but it could be interpreted that way. So, if I'm willing to look at myself and think, even though it's, to me, not a beg, I could see how it could be considered one, I have to give the consideration that, even though it seems like, and very likely is, a beg, Phil could just be joking and fucking around here. You see, Phil, this is the kind of ebb and flow, the back and forth you should be able to have in your own mind. Give others the benefit of the doubt. Be hard on yourself. If you can do this, you'll likely be much, much happier. But that wraps this one up. Thank you and big ups to Doody Streams for the 3 clips. I greatly appreciate the work you do and your willingness to let me use it. Big ups to viewers, subscribers, and those who like, share, comment, etc. I, of course, am infinitely appreciative for that support. But the biggest thanks and the biggest of ups go to the gym newbies, neophytes, and gym rats, my members. I can't thank you enough for your support. It means more to me than you could possibly know. Until next time, swole is the goal for a troll, lift heavy, eat clean. If Phil wants this platinum vest back, old boy better bring his hatchet and be ready.